Okay, now Diablo 3 can
You
go.
guys got to check out this rad image that I have for our stream.
Wow.
Oh, I can't see it. What is it?
It's yeah, I guess you can't see it. It's Hurley from Lost.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, I'm not seeing that. I still only see the
You only see a
Sunbro.
horrible goblin.
Yeah. Ugh. That whole
Guys,
mess.
Lost Via Domus was really good.
It's such
Yeah.
a great game.
You
Sure.
missed a winner.
I'm sure.
Okay, now you guys can talk about the PS4 stuff.
Oh my god, what a fucking piece of garbage.
Ah,
You're joking,
No
right?
Ridge Racer.
No
Number
Ridge
one.
Racer. Yeah.
where was
That's-
Polygon Man?
No.
They talked about Polygon a lot. They talked about the tyranny of Polygon, which I can
that was-
confirm is a thing.
Yeah.
I think that's really a betrayal of the PlayStation ideology. To reject Polygon, that's like the heart of the
Yeah.
PlayStation, is Polygon Man. He's in there making the games.
On my Twitter, I predicted before the press conference started that they would reveal a Polygon Man successor named Dedicated Physics Calculation Man, but that didn't happen either. So I'm like,
Andrew, invite me to the game whenever you're ready.
Okay.
But we're mostly going to talk about PS4 stuff.
Sure.
Man, no ducks, man.
No
I
ducks.
the Ducks are dead.
I have to say though,
They put the rubber ducks in Ken Kutaragi's cardboard box when they pushed him out the door.
Mads Fox points out that which I thought was funny too, that the end of the tyranny of the polygon speech from Media Molecule came immediately after David Cage's presentation about how excited he was about all the polygons.
Oh.
So it was like such a weird, like, they were so at odds with each other.
Yeah,
Do we
but
have to talk about David Cage? Can
hold
we...
on, wait.
ugh,
But
yeah, please let's not mention any of that part.
the tyranny of the polygon thing wasn't that polygons are bad. He was just saying that developing, or creating models with polygons was difficult, and
Yeah,
they've solved it.
And David Cage was all like, we love all of the
All the
polygons.
polygons. You need
Sure.
more polygons.
Please
check
give
out
me
these
more
polygon
polygon.com.
Jeez. But real talk on PlayStation 4 announcement, I am super happy with how much they talked about specs and
Yep.
about console interface. Like, that was... Oh, man, I felt like warm inside as they were talking about it.
I agree.
That was the refreshing, like, that was the piece of news that I needed in that conference to make me feel better, is that Sony was like, hey, look at what the interface looks like, and we have 8 gigs of RAM.
Yeah, 8 gigs of
8
RAM
gigs
is
of RAM
a
is
lot
huge.
of RAM.
So, like, I think a lot of people are not realizing that, like, Sony is known for not having enough RAM, and, like, developers, I think, were really worried that the PS4 wasn't going to have enough RAM. So for
PS3
Sony
was
to, like,
Yeah, I didn't know that.
yeah, so for Sony to come out and say, no, we're doing 8 gigs is actually really, really huge for them and important.
Yeah, it's I was impressed with how little it felt like they wasted my time in that press conference. Like, they just said PS4 like immediately. They were like, yeah, we're here to talk about the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, they're not like, let's talk about Vita games in 2015. Like, no one cares. Like,
I thought that was a
20K
for
says
sure.
8 gigs of RAM is too much. See, that's the thing. There's not too much. Like,
No.
it might be more than they know how to use at launch.
Well,
yes, and it's GDDR5 RAM, which is ridiculously fast. That's awesome.
but also remember, now that it's got like the share button thing and all their, like, who knows how much of that 8 gigs is now also, dedicated background system memory stuff.
Yeah, and the ability to, like, pause and resume a game without having to, like,
Oh yeah.
like,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a pretty cool thing. And that, I'm sure that will use up some of the system
And
memory as
logging
well.
in with your face, how sweet
Yeah.
is that? Oh my god.
So I've actually I watched the whole thing, obviously, but then I rewatched like the first half because I saw the Giant Bomb thing because they were doing a weird like riff track thing where they were streaming it and talking over it at the same time.
Yeah.
And so I kind of missed it the first time, but it sounds like you can watch like anybody on your friends list like play the game at any time. Like they don't have to set it up. You can just be like, I want to see what they're doing, and then
and like you can probably turn that off or something if you don't want people watching you. But yeah,
that sounds awesome. I mean, for this stream thing that we do right now, that would be awesome.
Yeah, like so they have built-in streaming capabilities, although it's through Ustream from the sounds of it, not Twitch. Although like that, maybe that'll change. But yeah, like that's the kind of stuff it's not necessarily life-changing, but it's a really cool feature for them to add, and it's something that feels very in touch with what people are doing with games right now.
Totally.
Of course, I'm saying that as somebody who does a lot of streaming, so of course it matters to me. But
well, I don't the 15-minute buffer of like it's always recording the last 15 minutes of your gameplay. Like that's pretty big. I mean, I don't know. Who knows at this point how useful that functionality is? But like I know on the Giant Bomb thing they were talking about like for video reviews, like you don't have to worry anymore about like if you're recording or not. It's just like, oh, an awesome thing happened that I want for my video review. Now I just have it. Like I could also use that for our run button things if I want to like edit something together beforehand and then The
thing that I compared it to on Twitter is it's sort of like Vine for games. It's like I'm just gonna have this short little thing. But obviously a little bit more than Vine.
That's actually exactly what I was kind of thinking about when I first looked at Vine. Was I was like, man, I wish this was hooked up to my game console because I would love to just be able to share anytime something funny happened in a game.
Yeah, that's the thing, and like that, I think it's cool for like for stuff in games like when something really stupid or crazy happens, or like a really bad bug that you run into.
Yeah.
Like I want to show off this stupid looking thing. To be able to do that with the actual in game and not just like a crappy video of it on your phone is like again, this is not like a game-changing thing, but it's like a cool little thing for them to add.
I don't know. It might actually end up being more of a game changer than it even seems like.
It is very knowledgeable about social networks and stuff right now.
Yeah, it's forward thinking, and I feel like that is that was what Sony has been lacking this generation was forward thought.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
We can talk about the video after you record it. Like, can you put it on like YouTube, or do you have to stay on?
That's a big
website. Can you even watch it outside of your PlayStation?
Yeah, that's
apparently.
The
I mean, they said it uploads to Facebook, but we don't know if it's like.
I don't have a Facebook. I want.
Well, great. That functionality is perfect for me because I do everything through Facebook.
I mean, who uses anything other than Facebook? I'm
actually Skyping into this call with Facebook right now.
Nice. But I could see every time I win online in Street Fighter V, when that comes out, I will be uploading that video to YouTube.
And,
so how about...
sorry. That Facebook Skype thing wasn't true.
Yeah, right.
I don't think there's Facebook Skype yet.
They're all one company,
there probably is. Who am I kidding?
I think there is video chat on Facebook, actually.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's got to be a Facebook plugin for Skype.
So can we talk about Infamous and how awesome that looks?
Yeah.
Can we talk about the guy on stage who gave the intro?
Yeah, that was like the best part of the whole thing.
There's a lot of like vaguely, not even vaguely, like really political stuff going on at that Sony press conference.
I really liked it. My favorite part was just his like looks. Like after every sentence, he was dead serious. He was like looking it off in the distance, like tearing up. He was welling up a little bit. I was moved.
That was a weird thing.
The best game.
I admit that I didn't particularly like that part of it that much. But I do absolutely love that Sony is the kind of company that would allow that to happen.
Yeah.
And then also they allowed the John Blow to go on stage and like essentially make fun of the last couple of trailers that had come before him.
I saw people tweeting about that. They're like, "Oh, typical Jonathan Blow being a douchebag off the bat." It just came off as like a fun joke. I don't really think.
Yeah, it was jokey. I think people who were tweeting that were like also knew that is like actually what he feels in a very serious way.
Yeah.
But whatever.
But
I think them getting The Witness is cool.
I was so excited to see The Witness though, especially after Killzone because I was pretty underwhelmed by that.
Yep.
Yeah, Killzone
Killzone
looks very Killzone-y.
Oh man.
But
I mean,
how
well, the color
color?
palette looked really
Yes.
good, but like the gameplay did nothing for me. It was just like, yeah, it's a first-person shooter. Whoa.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you, I'm glad that Brown is dead. I don't want any more
Yeah.
Brown. I'm like, it's so whack.
The
Yeah.
one part of the Killzone trailer that did have me kind of interested was when he did like the Far Cry 3-esque stealth kill from the top, jumping off of the platform.
Um,
It
And
was
it looks like
probably,
they might be going for a more open world kind of thing.
I don't know, that seemed like it was probably all scripted
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
I
Probably.
mean, I was definitely impressed by the visuals of the part where he's hanging by the helicopter or whatever it was, flying through the city. I mean, that looked like really good, but it didn't come off as like a game that I wanted to play.
Sorry, we're doing stuff in game. So wait, Andrew, you said there was something that we were going to disagree on heavily. I want
Yes.
to know what it is.
I don't know. I don't think that this deep down, I'm not 100% convinced it's Dragon Dogma 2.
Oh.
Wait,
So
Capcom actually confirmed that it's in the Dragon's Dogma universe, so that might as
Did
well
they?
be.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they did.
where did they confirm that?
I think on like some Capcom site.
I had not heard that, but
Weird.
That's what Giant Bomb guys said.
I've not seen that, so I'm not going to say that that's for sure. But what I will say is, if it is not Dragon's Dogma, I think that it should be, because it's clearly like the exact same style and type of gameplay, and it's silly for them to make another new IP that's the exact same.
Except that Dragon's Dogma is the worst title ever.
Oh,
It's not a
sure,
good
but
title.
it's you know what? What were they calling it? Deep Down?
Yeah,
They
another
should
double
Equally
team.
shitty title.
I think
Yeah.
they should pull a Dark Souls, and they should go with Dragons something else that begins with a D.
Sure.
Yeah, I would not be upset with the title change, but like, I'm not 100% sure that it's Dragon's Dogma. I just think that it makes more sense that it would be.
The only reason
Why?
why I think otherwise would just be the part at the end was really, where the guy's like typing me the message where he's like, "Oh, I need some help." There's like that weird helicopter noise
You
at the
mean
end.
Blanca? You mean Blanca?
Yeah, sorry. I should
The
credit
guy.
Blanca by name.
The electric monster?
Yeah, I don't know what that was supposed to be about.
It seemed like
That's
a
Ono,
weird
man,
kind of
'cause-
thing.
Yeah,
Every
it's
picture-
iTunes points out in the chat room it's a Yoshinori Ono thing.
Yeah, every picture he posts on Twitter, he has a picture of Blanca in it.
Oh.
That exact Blanca little action figure. He's such a jerk, man. I was so hurt that Ono went up there and didn't have anything to say about any fighting game. I was so
Yeah.
that was the worst part.
Street
of the
Fighter
whole
5's
thing.
got to be coming, right?
Oh, it's coming, yeah. But like, not even like there's a patch coming for Street Fighter 4 or
They're not going to announce
4
a
is
Street
coming
Fighter
out.
4 patch at this thing. What do you?
But Street Fighter 4 is on every console.
It's not going to be on
It's coming
PS4.
out.
Exactly,
Watch.
it's already on every
Watch.
console.
I would bet that money it will be on PS4.
You'll be able to play it on your PlayStation 4 with Gaikai streaming.
Sure.
Oof, that'll be the worst ever. I would not do that. I will. I guess I will have to keep my PS3 until Street Fighter 5 comes out. Because, yeah.
It's going to be
I
interesting
kinda-
to see how that streaming stuff ends up playing out. I'm hopeful,
I was
but
really
skeptical.
excited to hear what the Gaikai stuff was going to be, and to hear them be like, "Don't worry, guys, we just got greenlit to try to do a thing," or what was that about? I didn't even understand
It's
that.
essentially them saying, like, this technology's not there yet, but we're hoping it will be.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's so much the technology that's not there, but there's just not the kind of internet infrastructure.
The internet infrastructure, and also Sony has to build up a crazy server infrastructure for that.
Yeah.
Like, of a level that has not been done.
Right.
So,
Well,
like,
I
when
mean,
he was saying this needs to be the
Dragon-
fastest network ever, like, he wasn't joking, it needs to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, having every game be like a streaming downloader, that's cool. That's
Oh.
really nice.
I mean,
Andrew,
the
dick.
not having native PS3 support was an absolute given for anyone that was paying attention.
Just
But,
because they
um,
sell shit, yeah, which is unfortunate. It's shitty planning on their part, but
Yeah, but I
that's
still
an
have to
example.
wonder.
That's a perfect example of how they were not being forward thinking with the PS3.
Exactly. But I have to wonder what's up with PS1 and PS2, because I know PS1 on PS3 was already completely software emulation, and they're probably there with PS2 because they sell PS2 games on the PSN store now. Like, I wonder what they're going to do with that.
Well, Sony or PlayStation Europe tweeted that like PS1, 2, and 3 was going to be streaming. So I don't know if that means only streaming or.
It's also though like I think they're essentially repeating what David Perry of Gaikai said, but
Right.
David Perry also put a very distinctive someday we're going to be streaming all of these. It sounds like he said it's going to be released in waves, so I think we might have like at launch PS1 games are streaming, but maybe a few years down the road.
So you're saying PS4 is like the ocean.
So do you think it'll just be like you'll just get the PS1 library with PlayStation Plus?
No. No, I think they
like
make way too much
like
money off
$60
of piecemealing everybody.
I could see that happen. We'll see.
Like
I
you
don't
pay
know.
like $60 a year, you get online play, voice chat, and
Maybe you don't get the
PS1
full library.
games.
Maybe you don't get the full library, but like certain hits, and then like there's other stuff
Yeah.
that you can buy to like flesh it out if you want.
Mm.
And I also want to know what happens to the money I already spent on PS1 games for my PS3.
Yeah, you play those on your Vita.
Yeah. Remote play everything on Vita, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Hey.
kinda cool. That's actually super
I-
cool.
As a
That
Vita
works.
owner, that made me happy. So,
If that works, I'm totally buying a Vita. Because that's amazing. Especially if it's, I mean, the console's going to be like always on. Sounds perfect.
hmm I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't work. I mean, that they already have that
you
with the
feel miserably
PSP, just
remote
only
at-
for certain games because the PSP is pretty weak.
Stinks. Like, remote play sucks.
Yeah,
On
right.
PSP and the Vita right now. Like,
Stealth 20K is talking about backwards compatibility and how that's a big deal for him. I know he was talking with me on
Yeah.
Twitter about that too.
I
I totally get that. I just knew, based off of knowing how the PS3 is built, that it wasn't very likely.
Yeah, it was not. It was.
It's like, it is a bummer, but I'm just not surprised.
I mean, people could barely get PS3 games running on the PS3. Like, there's
Yeah.
no way they were going to get them
dick.
running on the PS4.
it's the truth.
I just blew us up.
thanks, Phil.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I always hear people that like write about games, review games, and that kind of stuff, always going like, "Who cares about backwards compatibility? Have you even put a PS2 disc in your PS3?" And blah
Dude,
blah. Like,
I play PS2 discs in my PS3 all the
Yeah.
time, so I'm.
I
I'm
can
with
say,
you.
I mean,
I'm streaming
I play
on
all my
PS2
cross-platform
games.
games on 360, but I've probably played more PS1 and PS2 games on my PS3 than I have PS3 games.
I don't know about that. I know I did spend the first year of my PS3 ownership playing Final Fantasy XI in it. So
That's weird.
that was like my most played game for a long time on PS3.
You're
Ugh.
depressing me right now. You're bumming me out.
I'm sorry.
Stop
No, but I'll
it.
just keep my PS3. That's my PlayStation Super Machine. It plays everything.
Yeah, Stealth's point is,
Until it
what
dies.
What if he
Oh,
wants?
shit.
Whoa, sorry. What Stealth's point is? What if he wants to take his, like let's say the PS3. We don't know the price for the PS4 yet, but
Right.
obviously rumors are floating around saying maybe $400, maybe $500, maybe even $600. What if he wants to sell his PS3 to cushion the blow of that? But now he can't really
should
because
wait till it's cheaper. Wait till
Yeah.
it's cheaper. And I'm sure you haven't
No.
played every PS3 game. I mean, come on.
I don't know.
Play Ghostbusters
I
every-
understand where he's coming from.
I have never sold a system to buy a new one, but I've
Sure.
heard a lot of people who have, and they've like almost never happy about it.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do here? I don't.
I don't really know.
Talk about the PS4?
Also,
Oh,
PS1 and
Stasis.
PS2 emulation is out there. It's not. I mean, it's pretty far along, I would say. It's good.
Yeah.
I mean, PS3 emulation, not so much, but
No.
that's like Saturn level. Just play it on your Vita. That's what you do.
yeah.
Stop saying that.
Play everything on your Vita. Everything everywhere.
I will.
Hey.
I will.
Not remember everything everywhere. Come on.
Question mark. What do we think about the DualShock 4?
It's fine.
I'm okay with it.
Or
I,
I think it looks pretty cool. I don't
I
know.
thought it was interesting that there, and obviously this is unconfirmed, but like people
whoa.
like
Well done.
Yeah, we're not doing great in the game here. Which Kyle's paying the closest attention.
I
It's
cannot
true.
see anything that is happening. So
Kyle's on his
focusing.
phone. He's not even.
But I know when that prototype photo leaked of the controller, and there was the light bar in the back, and at least I think IGN said that whatever their anonymous source confirmed that it was a PlayStation Move sensor, or like the equivalent of the glowing orb at the end of the Move controller. I would thought it was interesting that if that's true, they didn't even mention it. They just said it was for identifying which player the controller was.
That's like E3 talk.
What the fuck?
I mean, it's weird they didn't mention it, but I feel it's obvious since they all come with the PlayStation Eye.
Yeah.
Well, the PlayStation Connect Eye thing.
Bleeding Heart points out, kind of correctly, I think, that it would have been nice to see anything actually using that touchpad.
Yeah, just to see what that thing is.
Weird.
Because
Well, they showed the
That
little
was very
demo,
strange.
and the dude was like looking back and forth with it.
That was the weird thing, was that I felt like going into it, like the thing that I had already heard was the share button and the video sharing, and like I already thought that was a great idea. The things that I weren't sure about were like the touchpad and the move sensor thing and all this stuff, and like we didn't hear anything about that almost. Like no example. Well, that touchpad is so dumb. And the fact that no one even has an example of what it is to show off at this point, like it just
fucking,
Andrew, what did you do?
I kind of
got
wish you
hit
put
by
it on
a
the
thing.
back like the Vita has. I feel that would have been easier.
No,
to, like,
no,
no, no.
I hate the back touchpad on the Vita.
Never mind then.
Yeah, a lot of people hate that back touchpad. It's not very popular.
I think it's cool. I also don't
I think
have
it's
a
a cool
Vita,
concept,
so
but
Yeah,
it's not used very well in a lot
Yeah,
of ways.
yeah.
I kind of wonder if the touchpad is going to end up being like the motion sensing in the DualShock 3, where like they put it in there to, I don't know, somehow future-proof them against the Wii or something without really thinking if there was anything you could do with it that was good.
Wait, what is that you're wondering about for the touchpad?
The
Is the
touchpad,
touchpad
like, is the touchpad just like, oh, because the Wii U has a touch thing on...
I don't even
so
think
let's
that's
put a touchpad here, don't worry. Like, I can't even think of a single example of what you would do with a touchpad on your controller.
I think honestly, I think it's that they can make it easier to like port over. I said this on Twitter a while ago. I think it's easier so that they can to make it
Crossplay.
easier so that they can port over things on Vita. So that like if there's a Vita game where there's minimal touch functionality,
Yeah, okay.
they can port it over without having to worry about like how do we replace that touch functionality.
because every first-party game should probably be cross-buy. If I was Sony, at least for a while. Let's make everything work on both,
Now you take your car?
and then you can make everything same room co-op with the Vita.
Brand synergy.
One thing
Why
that a lot
not?
of people
Make the Vita an extra controller, an extra way to like play the game multiplayer with someone. You should just, like,
Asynchronous multiplayer using
Should be
cross-platform
synchronous.
Andrew,
synergy.
I need you to resurrect me.
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
All of those words you just said were
second
madness.
screen functionality.
One of the things that I saw a lot of people complaining about on Twitter that I'm curious what you guys think about, because it wasn't a big deal for me at all, but a lot of people it is that they did not show the actual box.
It'll be
Oh.
black and a rectangle.
I had
Now-
a response to this actually.
It's
I
a
saw
little
you.
weird.
Like, I understand that showing the box, like what the box looks like, doesn't change it at all. Like, it doesn't matter whatsoever. But I kind of feel like when you just see the box, it makes the whole system feel more real. Like, right now,
Sure.
it still kind of feels like promises. Like, here's what a PlayStation 4 will be like. Instead of, like, here is a thing that exists.
Sure.
Yeah. When Microsoft was on MTV, they showed the box. I'm just saying.
Well,
I
You
watched
gotta-
that.
I guess that's true.
That I was also thinking about that MTV thing when they showed off the 360, and thinking about how when I watched that, I was in game in Halo 2, and I was like, "Oh my God, this generation was a million years long."
We now know that
It was.
in order to turn off the machine,
Yeah.
we'll need some sort of
I actually
Uh,
remember I recorded it on VCR and watched it later because I had to go to a party.
Javanport in the chat says the box is your imagination.
with Rosetta Stone.
Yeah,
I would have
there
liked.
there won't
really
be a
like
box.
a box would've-
PlayStation 4 thinks outside the box.
Thanks, Media Molecule.
I wish there would have been a box. That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
Even an empty box. Like, just like hold the thing. Come on. Like
I mean,
bring
we're-
Kaz out. Like Kaz shows up.
We're pretty close. I mean, like the PS3 box got shown off like what 9 months earlier than this. Like they showed it off like a year and a half out from their release.
Yeah. I want to see the box. Kind of bummed.
I mean, they
They'll show it at E3, I would guess.
I hope it just like
Yeah.
turns into like the Sony apology video when they just like put an emergency like stream up on their site and they're like, "Oh my god, guys, check this out!" And they're just like, "Deep bow, show the box, peace." That's it.
Oh,
That's
so
all I
like a
want.
Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
Speaking of, did you guys hear that apparently there's a Nintendo Direct coming up in like 7 hours now?
Yeah, Iwata's gonna drop the bomb tonight.
Apparently it's 3DS focused, so I don't think we're gonna get any
Destiny on your Nintendo 3DS. Boom.
I mean, Animal Crossing, because that would be pretty cool. I might be
Who
more
cares?
Sony's conference. Wow, now
Um, I would have liked. Like, I kind of understand why they wouldn't do this, and also it would kind of be like them actively admitting that their PSN servers are terrible. But I would have liked to hear them like expressly say like, "It's gonna be way better this time. You'll be able to download things like on the internet." Throughput,
you can talk to people without lagging your game.
megabits.
I like megabits.
We fixed the shitty backend. Would be really nice to hear.
I mean, like, I'm
Here's
hoping
what-
that that's part of it, with what they're talking about like insta-play demos.
Yeah, it would have to be.
That seems to me like that would be a requirement for that to work at all.
Well, Microsoft has that instant on 1080p. Does that actually work? I don't have an Xbox. I don't know.
Well, the instant on isn't the 1080 part. The video
I
is
thought it was
instant on, and then the 1080 like comes in.
Oh.
I think I've tried it. Yeah, it works.
I mean, I know you're buying all those videos from the Zune store.
Oh my god, I can't get off the Zune store.
Stealth 20K says Phoenix Wright 5 will be at the on the 3DS
Oh,
Nintendo Direct,
okay.
so that's actually kind of cool.
the
That's
bomb
alright.
is
I
being
never got past 2.
Phil, I don't know if you're paying attention to the game, but you just murdered someone.
Yeah, I know, that was pretty shitty. How do you guys feel about the PS4 murdering people?
Huh?
I don't
I
know.
kind of felt like the guy who introed Infamous was about to pull out a gun and start murdering people.
I was
Yeah.
a little worried.
He was really stressed out to get that demo. on time.